We're about a minute and 15 seconds out. Pull this up so I can see. Oh yeah, this is perfect now. Yes.
So you can see.
I can see. Yes. And it's a better shot. Yeah, there we go.
Right.
I've got it muted so that it doesn't. So we're about 30 seconds out.
Okay.
We look good. Sisters be just looking good.
Color.
Okay.
It's all about the color.
15 seconds out.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live from Collaborative 317 in McCordsville. You know how we do it. RadioNext.tv, all community, all the time. There's a lot of stuff happening that's going to be going down with all community. HB's got some surprises. I'm going to let him share those things with you, but look for some changes. There's going to be some changes. We're going to make some moves. I hope everyone enjoyed their national holiday, and if you don't think it's a national holiday, we need to talk about it, because it was election day. Now, I'm going to tell you, I was like a kid on Christmas Eve on Monday night. I was like, it is time to go vote, people. It is time to get up and cast your vote. Now, I went as a precinct committee person, and I worked my precinct, Lawrence 14. First of all, I want to thank all of my poll workers. I got a really nice email on Wednesday saying that in all the years that my poll workers had worked, no one had brought them food or drinks. I just was doing what Art Jasinski told me to do. I was doing what Terry Burns told me to do, trying to be a good precinct committee person. So thank you so much for spending your whole day at Lawrence 14. The next day, November, we're going to do it all over again. You can expect a little breakfast from me. You can expect a little lunch from me if you want it. So you guys are willing to work that hard and do those kind of things for Lawrence 14. I can at least feed you. That's the least we can do is feed you. So I'm excited. It was amazing. The primary is the best time to have good conversations with Republicans, right? Because you're not actually really competing against each other. It's like, they have their race and you have your race, but you're standing across from each other having good conversation. And I only had one dude who was just mad about it all. He came in, he's so mad that he had not even done his research on which Senate candidate he should vote for. He came in and was like, which one will beat Donnelly? And I said none of them. Now, it really wasn't my conversation. I probably shouldn't have butted in a grown folk conversation, but none of them. But he got so mad. He was about 6'3" and red in the face and told everybody to watch out for me. The happiest person on the planet. Everybody that came in, I said, happy election day. Listen, yes, this is serious times that we are in, but voting is a beautiful thing. It is an opportunity to participate in the greatest democracy on the planet. We are not a perfect union. We know this. We are working every day to be a more perfect union. But I tell you what, to be able to go in and cast a vote for someone who may be looking out for my best interest, there's nothing better than that. There are people right now wishing that they had the opportunity that we have as Americans. And if we don't, taking it for granted, it's not cool. I know there was a lot of conversation about slating this week. If you notice, I don't talk about slating. I have my own opinion about slating. But listen, if you want to change the process of slating in Marion County, You need to understand what the process is. Not knowing and then finding out later and then being upset about it. Yeah. Hey, you got to know what it is. Know the process. But I also understand, even as a voter, I didn't know about slating until I ran for office. So being an active voter and being active in the party and knowing the party rules are two different things. So we, as you know, the party is made up of voting people. And every citizen, number one, has a chance to be a precinct committee person, a vice precinct committee person. You can volunteer for the party, and you can contribute to how rules affect policy when it comes to how our party works. So if you really don't like things, first learn what the process is, and then if you want to change it, work your way through it. It's been around for a long time, right or wrong. It's been around, so we have an opportunity to change it. You have to know what it is first. All right, before we get to my primary winner that's sitting next to me over here, you know we got a primary winner sitting next to us. Let's talk about the primary just a bit. How about for the ladies? I want to hear some Cool in the Gang. It's ladies' night because ladies in Indiana cleaned up. I mean, from House reps all the way down to precinct committee people, women all over the state said no more of this being 50% of the population, but only 20% being represented in our state house, in our government. Women showed up, showed out, and won. I love it. I'm excited about that. So, Toby Beck in the 4th, cleaned house. She did a really great job over there. I'm so proud of her. She was working the state like I was working the state. Wherever I was for deputy chair for engagement. Oh, hey, Toby. She's right there with me. We got a new, well, I guess she's not that new. She was in the race. Janine down in the 6th. Surprise, surprise. Now we got two sisters. Two sisters, say it with me. Two sisters running for House Rep, running for Congress in the state of Indiana.
That's right.
That's progress, baby. That is for real progress. So congratulations to Janine. And of course, I got to talk about Courtney Tritch. Hers was a lock. I was in Fort Wayne at her watch party. She, you know, Courtney's so sweet. She good. We love her. She's good to go. But I tell you what, the toughest race, come on now, was that 9th district. Dan Cannon and Liz Watson, for a year and a half, it seemed like, excuse me, were putting it up, battling, raising money, being all over the state, speaking to the issues, tweeting, Facebooking, knocking doors, being engaged. Dan Cannon and Liz Watson, I tell you what, you two ran one of the best primaries I have ever seen. I don't know if there was some infighting. I didn't hear nothing. Not like the Republicans on that other side. And every time they opened their mouth, it was, you suck. I mean, it wasn't like that. They even did a karaoke together. But Liz Watson pulled it out. And she did it convincingly. But Dan Cannon, I tweeted you, I told you that you always have a homie in Indiana's own. You let me know what you need if you want to run again. I hope you run again because you are a strong voice for residents of Indiana. We need you. Don't go back into your practice and us never see you again. We need you. You are the kind of Democrat that we could use representing us. But congratulations to Liz Watson for putting in the work, making it happen, your whole team. I'm so proud of the work that y'all did in the 9th. I tell you what, y'all brought awareness to this thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all made Indiana seem like, you know, we the place to be. You know, don't even worry about the fact that we're 3rd from the bottom in the nation and you know, in every good category and quality of living. With the slate of candidates that we have, Indiana will work better. Congratulations to the incumbents in District 1 and District 7. You know who you are. And William Tanous, who didn't have a primary opponent, you did a great job, sir. I appreciate it. I hope to see more of you because now your general election race is going to be tough. All right. There was one more race. There was one more congressional race. That would be the congressional district that I I live in. Hello, because everybody's like, you don't get to vote for Andre Carson. No, I don't live in the 7th. I live in the 5th. Y'all give it up to my guest today, who is coming from the... We are in the 5th district right now. Are we in the 5th district?
No. No.
This is the 88th, but it's not the 5th. Okay.
No.
Okay. But hopefully, my next U.S. Congressman from the state of Indiana, D. Thornton, welcome. Welcome. Congratulations, girl.
Hey, game on.
Did I tell y'all there was two sisters? Two sisters on the ballot.
Yes,
on the ballot
yes.
from Indiana. Come on, y'all.
You know, and that's so funny because you said we're in the 5th district, and that's probably the thing I have to do the most is a little geography about how large the 5th district is, where it starts, where it stops. And because many voters are not quite sure exactly.
They don't.
And when they hear about how large the 5th district is, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So.
and see, I'm going to say her name for you so you don't have to soil yourself up. I'm just going to say you're going to beat Susan Brooks.
I am going to beat Susan Brooks.
I told you not to soil yourself up.
I got to say it. You know, that's part of believing it's going to happen.
Yes,
you know?
claim it, girl. I mean, I wouldn't even, I think I would just lose my mind. I remember when Julia, Miss Carson, went to Congress, and how proud we were as women of color to see someone who had, because I remember when she was Washington Township trustee, I remember when she had done all of these things. I was her page at like 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right. So, my mother put me in a skirt and everything, girl. It was not a good day.
Well, that's what your mother was supposed to do.
Because she sent me out looking, you going to go work for this woman, you going to be right, you know.
That's right.
But
that's what mothers do.
Right. And I remember the pride that I felt when she went to Congress. Now we have an opportunity to send 2 women of color to Congress.
We do. Progress. And that you
from
never
Indiana.
take for granted those who went before us that paved the way.
Absolutely.
You know?
So you know what? I always give people a chance to tell their story. So let the people know who you are and where you come from.
I'm a Tennessee girl. You know,
Southern girl.
I am a Southern girl, born and raised, small town.
Okay.
Small town. And I tell people, small town very similar to the small towns in the 5th district.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
so I connected my 4-H roots. Because I was
4-H?
I was a 4-H girl, but we didn't have pigs, and we couldn't afford pigs and cows and all that stuff. But I baked cornbread because they have cornbread competition.
Oh,
and so I baked cornbread.
Okay,
and that's I learned public speaking. So I did those were my 2 things.
Okay,
and so, but I'm from Tennessee, born and raised, youngest of 4 children.
Oh, you baby.
I am the baby.
Okay,
yes,
spoiled.
yes. I am not spoiled.
Used to get in your way.
No.
Oh, that's just me.
Yes.
That's just me. I'm the youngest.
No, but you do learn by being the youngest. You learn quickly as to what not to do. But
you watch the older ones get their head bashed in a couple times. You go, y'all probably shouldn't have done that.
Although there's quite a few years between us.
Okay.
Like 4 or 5 years. I said I was an accident.
Ain't no accident.
No, that's what Mom said wasn't an accident, but it was quite a few years
she would know.
Me and my older sister.
Okay. One more again. She just wanted one more again.
Yeah.
So the youngest, how many sisters and brothers? Or
I have 2 older brothers and 1 older sister.
Okay.
And then me.
Okay.
And so coming up in Tennessee at the time. Sports were real big, and so me being the tallest girl in the class, you automatically get recruited by the coach and said, "Hey, you're going to play basketball."
Really?
So I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that."
Could you ball?
I could ball, but I have to tell you, balling was a little different in
the years that you were in school.
Yes. It changed because my first year of college was the first time I played the 5-man game. In Tennessee, we played 6-man.
6.
Yeah.
What kind of rules were that?
It was wonderful rules.
You
and
know,
I played offense and defense. I learned the game, and then I went to the University of Louisville, and that's when the 5-man game came into play.
So I'm just going to say this so that you understand. I know that you hear now. In 49 other states, it's just basketball. But this is Indiana. 6. What the heck is that?
That's how it started. You have to understand the history of the game.
When...
You know, the women's game. The history of the women's game.
Naismith never had 6 people on the court.
Well, he may not have, but that's how the ladies started out.
And what position did you play?
I played them all.
Go on, bro.
No, I played them all.
Go on,
You didn't put me in one spot. I played it all. Give me the ball.
Oh my goodness.
Ball.
I love it. See, I figured we was going to do a little trash talk because I couldn't play basketball. Not a lick. Oh, God. Girl, no. Couldn't jump. Couldn't run. Couldn't dribble. But I could talk a whole lot of mess. I'd have been a great, Spike Lee of basketball.
Well, you have to have a little bit of that, but you have to have some skills.
No, I had none.
Yeah.
None.
Well, you found your passion.
I did talking. That's what I'm saying. I could have been Spike Lee. So you go to the University of Louisville. Okay.
Yes. There I was. I majored in marketing and public relations, and then I had a minor in computer science.
Okay.
And so while there, I, we had a wonderful team, a wonderful season, and that led me to my first job out of college, where I was able to leverage my competitive skills and my computer science and my marketing, and I started with Xerox Corporation.
Okay.
And so that was my first job out of college, and I stayed there 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 30 years.
So you went in there and just shook it up like I'm home.
I was home, but I found a different opportunity every 3 years.
Okay.
I started in sales and marketing. I moved into management. What brought us here was a promotion to be the marketing manager for the state of Indiana.
Wow.
And so when we came here, and it was a stop.
Did Xerox know they were sending you to Indiana?
Absolutely, they knew they were sending me. Okay. But Xerox was a very different company. They really embraced diversity.
Good.
And so that bode well for me. And so that's what brought us here. And it was supposed to be a 3-year stop, 2-3 years, and then go on to the next job. And
what happened?
27 years later, we're still here.
Well, you know
that's
what?
Okay. It's wonderful.
We'll take the brain gain because, we have such a brain drain in the state of Indiana. We will take the brain gain. So I see you running around the state in District 5 with this brother dipped in chocolate. Who might that be?
Oh, that is my wonderful. You got to be talking about my wonderful husband. Oh, my best friend, my top cheerleader. I could not do this without him.
That's what's up. So give a shout out to D.
Hey, to Don Thornton of 33 years.
Congratulations.
Hey, this is a team that we've teamed together for a lot of things, and so
Don is in the building.
Yeah.
Don is in the building. I just want y'all to know that. I love it when spouses say, "I'm gonna support you 100%." And as soon as you meet Don, you know who he is and who he is to you, and so that's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
He's magical. He's getting votes. I'm telling you, he worked primary hard.
That's what's up.
He did. He was out getting votes, and he'd come home and
excited as excited as you were.
Yes, he's having as much fun with this as I am, because we're people. We just love talking to people.
Okay.
And so when you're out and you're meeting people, and I think you said that earlier, on primary day, I hit several spots, and to your point, many voters are kind of coming by, and depending on what poll you're at, you can't really get to the voters. And I said, I'm just going to shake hands and talk to the poll workers. So I had wonderful conversations with my opponents and my opponents' workers. So it was a way for me to also let them get to know me a little bit, because I plan to be in the race beyond the primary. So you're going to see me again.
Ain't that it? So do you have any kids?
We have 3. We have 3 kids. Our oldest son is a basketball coach at Ball State.
Oh, stayed in the state.
Well, actually, Ryan went to high school through Kentucky.
Okay.
In the Kentucky system. He's a Kentucky All-Star. So he was a great
You do know
player.
that there's like a little basketball rivalry between Kentucky and Indiana.
Well, but that's okay. Yeah. But you know what? He's a Kentucky All-Star. We have 2 girls, and our both
almost makes him as good as an Indiana All-Star. Oh, I got I'm a trash talk.
He's better than no.
He's your baby. Of course he is.
He is. He's an awesome kid, very talented. He first 2 years he went to school in Vanderbilt, and his last 2 years were at Xavier.
Okay.
And he and his wife live in Yorktown with our 2 fabulous grandbabies.
Oh, you're a granny.
I'm a granny, and I'm a grandmama. Okay. What everyone says? Are you a G? Are you a? I'm a grandmama.
Okay. My wife says she's a Bimmy.
Oh,
Her oldest granddaughter named her Bimmy, and that's what she's been.
Yeah.
Okay, so so your son and 2 daughters.
2 daughters, and they are both Indiana All-Stars.
Okay.
They both went to school through Carmel School System.
Okay.
And one went to Butler,
All right.
and the other went to Purdue.
Okay.
And they are now both of them are in Texas. Their jobs took them. They went pro on something else other than sports.
I understand.
They love their careers.
I understand.
They're doing wonderful.
I wish they come. We need that brain gain. I hate that we lose intelligent people because for multiple reasons. That we don't get to keep some of our brightest stars here in Indiana. But hopefully,
I hate it. I mean, one day they'll come back, but they love their careers.
Sure
My middle daughter is married, and she and her wife are going to have a daughter. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Oh, right.
I'm prophesizing that. I don't know what they're having. I don't know what they're having. But every time I talk to her, I'll say, I think it's a little girl. But they're going to have a baby in November. So November's going to be an exciting time for our family.
Wait a minute. I just love how you just threw that out there like it was no big deal. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
It is.
Yes, my daughter and her wife are going to have a baby. You went more to thank you because that's what it's really about. You
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. So we're excited.
So okay, okay.
So, but I said and she knows this. If you called her today, she would say every time I talk to Mom, she says it's a girl. It's a girl. It's a girl.
Okay. So congratulations, new baby.
New
baby, whatever, healthy.
Yes, that's what we want.
New baby.
And our youngest, she's in Dallas, and she's loving Dallas, loving life. She's a public health major.
Oh.
And my middle, and my daughter-in-law is a police officer.
Check her out.
Dallas PD.
So she'll probably be there. She'll probably be there. She's starting her career in law enforcement.
She loves it. She wants to, after the baby, she wants to, because she's carrying. And so after the baby, she wants to get into the detective side.
Excellent. That's a wonderful thing. I used to work with IMPD, and I got a chance to learn the other side of law enforcement, not just the unfortunate gentlemen, men and ladies who want to act up every now and then. There's a whole force of people who are doing wonderful work
every day, putting their lives on, out there.
I tell you what most impressed me about some of the folks that I worked with IMPD, and that was the community engagement office, with the Indy PAL and the after school programs they wanted to work with, because their goal was to be in front of communities before the flashing lights.
That's right.
And they wanted to really be a positive influence in communities. The other side, the recruit team, and how hard the recruit team worked to have a recruit class that looked like Indianapolis. So those are just two of the many
and we've come
areas.
a long way.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
And also recruiting officers that have higher education.
Absolutely.
And so and have and a broader life experience.
Absolutely. Because you gotta have it.
That's right.
So okay, so you work 30. How long did you work at?
I worked 30 years. I did a lot of things. I was in sales and marketing and operations and customer sat and loyalty and retention. And my last probably 10 years was more of a, we had these kind of entrepreneurial kind of companies within, and so we were really working on business process improvement and
that'll come in handy.
Six Sigma. I'm a Six Sigma green belt.
That'll come in handy. I mean, I love the fact that you know how to look at processes and improve them versus just saying Obama did it, we just gonna get rid of it.
Right. No. That's not the way to improve a process. You don't just throw it out. Process improvement is a powerful way to look and improve and take the waste out, take the redundancy out.
Okay.
So I feel like I have a lot of transferable skills that are going to be. That has helped me already in the campaign, and I think it will help me in Congress. And when I left, I was with a group that we were basically selling software as a service. So it was like a SaaS group. Yes.
Yeah, I'm an IT chick, so I got you.
You got it.
Yeah. So did you retire?
No, I don't say I didn't retire. No,
Okay.
I didn't retire. Our group actually got sold and bought off by another group, and then so all of our bright minds. We bought another company, had a deeper expertise, and at the time there was a small group of us that really basically got replaced.
Okay.
And
All right.
at that time, I could have retired, but I was too young. I mean,
Okay.
I could have, it's funny. I talk to people all the time and they say, I'm retired. I'm thinking, but you're 40. Or you're 50, you're 55. And, even people talk about now, I'm going to retire and they're going to give me a package and then and I'm going to retire, but you're not. You're going to have a career change.
Yeah.
You're going to take what you've learned and your transferable skills and you're going to do something else because people are not sitting down retiring at 50 and 55.
Not when they're living to 90?
No. Yeah, well, my mom is 92.
Did I call it? I called it.
My mom is 92.
So what made you decide to run for, this is your first office, I take it, right?
First time running for office.
First time running for office. Whew. What made you run for Congress, girl? I mean, because everybody say run for school board. Run for school board.
I told them I don't have time for that.
I ain't got time for that. I mean, and that's not what your passion was.
It really wasn't. And I didn't start out at Congress. But I did start at the state level.
Okay.
I really did. I started at the state level, and I was going to look at District 39.
Okay.
Which is in my area. Mm-hmm. And I said, maybe I'll do that one. And then there was some discussion about the 5th District, and there was not a candidate that was running. No one was interested. And because
Leanne got on me, like she sent me like a mama letter, what you doing? I'm like,
see, you could have been the one.
Girl, no, you the one.
So, I said, well, I don't know. But my nature, because my work has always in sales and marketing and projects. I asked myself this question, can I win? And when you ask yourself that question, can you win? There has to be some alignment, personally, politically.
That's a big district.
Can you do it? Can you rally the resources? Will people embrace you?
Yeah.
And so there's so many factors. And, after I go down and I check off all the boxes, I say, yeah, I can win this.
Look at you being analytical.
I can win this.
Look at you. Man, I wish more people. So was 2016 a catalyst for you? Was that the thing, or had you been thinking about it before?
I think it probably pushed me.
Okay.
I think you get to the point where you get something kind of pushes you over to say, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay. So 2016, yes. Okay. I worked at that election. I worked the polls. I came home that night, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe this. And then since that time, just to kind of see the things that are happening. Some of the policies that are being put in place, the reversal of policies, and just equality.
Reversal for the reversal's sake, not even replacing it with anything of sustenance.
No, it's vindictive, kind of, in terms of
like you just trying to erase. You'll never be able to erase him.
But what happens? You try to erase history, and then what I anticipate happening is that it'll come back.
It'll swing back. It's a pendulum.
But then there'll be a different name on it, and so we know that's what happens. Someone will reclaim it.
But he will always be number 44.
That's right. And so I said, okay, I'm going to run. I believe I can win. I've got the stamina and the energy, and I certainly have the courage. And so, I had to talk to the family, and everybody says, well, make sure you don't have any parking tickets. And
girl, a parking ticket, honey, please. That's the least of your worries, honey. There's a whole movement called #MeToo. You talking about a parking ticket? You got dudes, man. Look, man. I wish somebody would say something to you about a parking ticket.
You just never know what anybody might say to you. But
girl,
I said, we can do this.
Listen, and I don't. Please understand, this is not a sexist comment or a racist comment, but we already know 90% of our government is pretty much ran by white males. If they can have, from the Democrat side, Chippewa, what was they got a movie now out about Kennedy and Chappaquidda, and you got Monica Lewinsky tweeting about don't uninvite me because you invite Bill Clinton, and then you got little Jeff Sessions running around talking. He was too racist in the 80s to be attorney general, but a parking ticket, girl, boo.
Well,
I'm not even trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. But anyway.
And so
Why we gotta be perfect?
Well, but we do. We have to
Twice
dress the part.
Yeah.
We have to, they criticize our hair, particularly women. Our hair, our clothes, everything. We're never qualified enough.
Girl.
And so, I said, hey, I'm qualified. And I have a desire.
You're more than qualified.
Well, yes, I am.
Claim it. And that's the thing is, that is always one of the reasons why we have a hard time getting women to run, because we feel like we have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have to be perfect.
No, we don't.
You know what I'm saying? My goodness. Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell. The list is long of flawed men.
Yes.
Who are in office and have been there for a long time. Girl, what will probably make us more equals if we have a few more flaws.
I
got some. I'm a cross-dressing lesbian. Vote for me.
Well,
anyway,
we're not perfect, but I do think there are some standards.
Okay.
I think there are some standards of behavior.
Should be.
And I believe character matters.
Character, yes.
And so when we move to a place where character doesn't matter in the highest office of the nation, I think we have a problem. And not just that. I expect my representatives to speak up and to not be silent when things are said and done that are just not right, because young people are looking. They're watching, and so we are to model the behavior that we want them to
Absolutely.
see. And I don't see that happening.
I 100% agree with you. Lately that has been one of my talking points, is that our government is made up of 3 branches on purpose. Mm-hmm. It's made up for checks and balances. Yes. He is only one person. And granted, that is the President of the United States, but there are checks and balances. Where is Paul Ryan? Where is Mitch McConnell? Mm-hmm. Where are these checks? And why are you being so silent while all of these things are going on? You were supposed to hold him in check. And right now, they're just letting him run roughshod. Like we said earlier today, did we go through everything we went through in American history, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to turn it over to somebody like this? I mean, we go through the Revolutionary War. We go through the War of Brothers, where we're fighting each other in the Civil War over bondage, and we forcibly remove Native Americans from their lands to create this country, and we're going to turn it over to somebody like this? This is not what we had in mind. And we didn't do all of that to let some guy who doesn't even respect the institution of our government. That's the part that kills me.
Well, and we're much better than that. We're much better than that. And I think that in this midterm, voters are going to come out. They're going to make some decisions.
Absolutely.
And they're going to vote in people that they believe that can go into Congress and start to transform it.
Absolutely.
And I have a history of being a part of transformative type organizations, and I want to be a part of that transformation.
That's what's up. We're gonna send some folks with you. You got Andre, and we're gonna send Courtney, we're gonna send Liz, we're gonna send Janine, we're gonna send Toby, we're gonna send William, and all of them. We're gonna send them, and y'all gonna make it happen. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. Primary's over.
Yes.
But you still running a campaign. You Absolutely. Still now don't get me wrong, the primary was tough. You had multiple candidates that ran against you in the 5th district, and that's why I didn't have a chance to interview anybody before the primary, because I just had no time.
I told you invited me on after the primary. I thought, I told you, I said, I've been told in the political world that that's a jinx. That for somebody to invite you to the show after the race, that they're jinxing you. And I'm thinking, okay.
I figured. Okay, so this is what I figured. All right, I figured, because I didn't know, when I booked you, I didn't know about all the other ones that were running. I'm like, oh, crap.
Oh, there were 7.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. And I didn't know about all the other ones, and I was like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. But I'd already booked it, because I try to be a woman of my word and make the commitment.
Thank you.
And then I felt like, well, if she loses, I could always ask one of the other ones to come on and see.
You had a backup plan, but I wasn't going to let you use it. I was like, oh, no. So let's go on and book December.
Okay. Well,
let's book December.
Oh, how about, well, no, hold on now. Hold on now. Let's not, let's hold on. You got me stuttering over here now. Feel like old man at the juke joint. Hold on now, young gal. I was worried because I never want to be disrespectful to the other candidates.
Sure.
And that's what it was. I didn't want them to think that I didn't have the same respect for them that I had for you. And I hope they know that. That's why we didn't book you until after the primary. And look at you pulled it out. So let's get back to that campaign and tell the people, what messages that you ran on to help you win the primary, and how will you move forward to beating the curly-haired girl in the 5th district.
Sure. Well, for the most part, as I've traveled throughout the 5th, because it is so diverse, I mean, the urban and the suburban, and you've got the rural communities. There are so many issues, and so it does change from one area to the other. And I'm confident that there will be more issues in the future. You would hope that some things that we're debating now will get solved before the 2019 Congress. But when I am in Congress in 2019, I really do want to feel that one of the biggest issues that I will have to work with, and what the representatives of the 5th have said loud and clear, is they really want us to resolve health care.
Okay.
Health care is a big one. And then also protecting those government social safety nets and I will say them all: Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. All three. Because they not only they affect everyone. They affect families. They affect our young professionals that are working and that someday want to be a beneficiary of a Social Security program. Our Medicare system is huge. I support us moving to Medicare for all. Now, we can't get there in one fell swoop.
Right.
But I am talking to many in the 5th district that feel like, and I feel like, that we can fill that gap. We talked about people living to be 90, 93 plus. We talk of people at 55 that are in the midst of a career change, whether they were, they retired, downsized, right-sized, whatever size they were. But at 55, they find themselves, and they will say, I'm retired, because that's a nice thing to say, but they're really going to work another 10 years before they can really kick into their Medicare. And so in that 10 years, they could deplete a very large portion of their savings.
Right.
So we've got to do something to help those people. And at the same time, if we focus on healthcare, we can help business. We can have small businesses that would love to provide healthcare to their employees. I've heard people say, well, the tax cuts help. Well, businesses are concerned about how they grow revenue, how they balance their operational aspects of their business, what their long-term growth projections are, how they get new employees, and they really want to provide health care for their employees, because they know what that means to business. You got healthy employees, happy employees, they're going to come to work and excited. So if we fight that health care battle, it's going to benefit all of society. It's going to help us to continue to build the core of this great country. And the core of this great country is our middle class. Our working people. When we build them up, we build the whole of this great country.
And this is what they're talking about in the 5th district.
This is what we're talking about in the 5th district.
Because
yes, it is.
Yeah, because I'm hearing this and I'm like, well, wait a second now. Here's this Republican who voted against Obamacare. She voted for the tax cuts that were permanent for corporations but temporary for the middle class, working class. How is she able to hold on and win? And the numbers look like, what they look like.
Right.
And you're telling me the constituents in your community are saying the opposite of what she stands for.
Well, it goes deeper than that. We have, we're a agricultural community. We have farmers that are growing soybeans and corn. Over 60% of soybean and soybeans and corn are sent outside of this country, and so there's a concern there. There's a real concern about the tariffs and what that will mean in terms of the aluminum and steel. I think today the president is up in the northern Indiana, up in Elkhart with the RV industry. And so they got a tax break, but the impact of the tariffs will totally wipe that away.
Yeah.
And of course, they're having a hard time finding employees.
Mm-hmm.
And so you cannot, we are so transactional in what we do, and we cannot make one move without understanding the impact on the whole. And I'm hopeful that we'll have a new, fresh voice of representatives that will challenge the way that we look at policy, and that we'll look at things more holistically, and that we drive the economy.
Absolutely. I just don't understand how people look at, they don't believe that for every action there's a reaction. I mean, it's the basics of existence, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was a big chunk right there. That was healthcare and the social safety net. Which, again, I hate when the Republicans call social safety nets entitlements when you've been paying into them your entire working life.
Yes,
how am I was entitled to pay, and now because it's an entitlement I don't get it back.
Well, and I think we have to be more direct, and we have to call that out.
Yes.
People know that. Seniors know that it's
Absolutely.
not an entitlement.
Right.
They know they
Right.
paid into it. Young people who are working now, who are paying into
Yes.
it, they know that.
Yes.
And so we can't let that
narrative.
That narrative. We've got to reframe the conversation and be very specific as to what those things do and how important it is to working people. And we've got throughout the 5th District, we have some economies, in some areas that are struggling, with jobs and business, and we have a large group of pockets of areas that depend on the Farm Bill, for example.
Okay.
The Farm Bill is huge throughout the 5th District, and September is the date in which it will be. There's lots of discussions that it's going to be cut. And so
that's going to hurt a lot of your constituents.
It hurts a lot of my constituents, and that concerns me. And that's when I say when you talk to people about the 5th District, many times they think Hamilton County, the most affluent.
Geist.
Yes, that's what they think of. But no, I mean, we're talking about Tipton and Grant and Blackford.
Yes.
And so it affects all of it. And so then when we talk about the government social safety nets, and we talk about Medicare, Medicaid, then we talk about the implications that has to the opioid epidemic. And how are we going to continue to combat that? And a lot is treatment facilities. It's professionals. It's mental. It's also the mental health issues. So it's everything is intertwined
in the healthcare. Yes. So talk to me about where you are with education, because now that you're going to Congress, you're going to be forced to try to work with Betsy DeVos, who is doing everything she can to end public education as we know it. Tell me some of your ideas on that.
Well, I think education is it's changing from the time that I was in school, in early education, but it bothers me when we see the decline of our public schools and the funding, and so I support fully funding public education. And it's interesting, the other day, and when I was talking to voters in line at the primary, we talked a lot about education. I talked to some very young people who happen to be homeschooled, and we talked about vouchers and charter programs. And it's so important that we provide a quality education for everyone. And that means that we need to fully fund public education. And I don't want to see any child not be able to get a quality education in Indiana and in the 5th District.
Absolutely.
And so we have to stop programs that are stifling off funds to other areas. Not to say that the way we go about education and educating our children are changing. We've also we have to continue to support our teachers.
Come on.
I mean,
teachers send people to the moon.
I mean, teachers are critical to the educational process.
To the fabric of our society.
They have to be paid
absolutely
equitably. They have to be, and we have to. You know, we were at a time in our country where, you know, people sought education because they wanted to educate students, and they could live well. They could live in the middle class. They weren't looking to be in the top 1%.
Right.
They were just wanting to live and be able to go on vacation. But we have teachers working second jobs, not being able to really afford living on their own. And across the country, our educational system is very fragmented.
Yeah.
You know, some states have state pension plans that are struggling. We don't. But and some teachers literally won't get a Social Security benefit because they have the state pension plans.
Wow.
When they have a state pension plan, they don't pay into.
Okay. They don't pay into the.
They pay
okay.
Yeah, they pay into the state plan. So we have to continue to focus on education and education delivery. And that also means investing in infrastructure. Because education delivery is through the internet and through broadband. And again, when I look at the 5th District, you're going to have a problem with reception.
In rural communities, heck yeah.
And so, you know,
and then June 8th, net neutrality ends.
Which is another problem where, you know, we've got to stop the madness. And we've got to create an environment in a country where people can excel, because we know what's going to be needed for the future.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was having a conversation again. The best time to get face to face with a Republican where it's it's not as hostile as because I had a man, and he was sincere in his question. I mean, I felt like he was sincere, and he had a premise to where he was going. He was saying, I just need you to help me understand, how is it that private schools can, educate students for less amount of money per student and have a better rate of return? Now, I don't know how he was measuring ROI, so I can't speak to that. But my comeback to him was, that's because private schools don't have to take everybody. It costs just a little bit more to take care and educate a child who is learning disabled or developmentally delayed. It takes a little bit more to make sure a child with physical limitations are getting in and out of school. It takes a little bit more money to educate the kid who can't focus because they're hungry.
Right.
Because mom and dad are opioid addicted and they took all the food money to get high.
Right.
Or the kid that's suffering from PTSD because they live in an area where there's gunshots every night and they literally are hiding under the bed, and it takes more. And so the idea that somehow or other these private schools are so much better than public schools, when you look at the demographic of the private school versus the demographic of the public school, they're not the same.
They're not the same.
Typically, if a person is able to send their child to a public school, more than likely they're not on drugs where they're starving their kids.
Right.
More than likely, they're not working 2 and 3 jobs trying to keep a roof over their head.
Right.
We're not. So I want to,
It's totally.
It's
but
totally,
you do have to have the conversation, and we cannot. Run away from having the conversation with people.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes people get caught in their little area and they don't look beyond it. That was what was the beautiful thing when talking to a couple of young people on election day was one young lady happened to be homeschooled and was in support of the voucher program. And I said, well, you understand that the voucher typically, it doesn't pay 100% of the education. And so if you're a child in the inner city or in a depressed area and you get a voucher, your parents have to find a way to make up the rest. And I said, so you have to understand, well, you may have been in a situation where your parents could do that. There are other children who who cannot.
Who cannot. And those vouchers, and here's the deal, here's the part that Hoosiers, I don't understand why we are not in an uproar about this. The voucher program was supposed to be for students who went to public schools in lower incomes and the schools were failing. Mm-hmm. The idea that over 50% of vouchers, which I actually explained to the man, vouchers are going to households that are making over $90,000 a year, and the child was never in public school. See, now everybody the right gets all upset about the redistribution of wealth. I don't know how that is not considered redistribution of wealth when the standard, you're taking public money that was earmarked for public education and you're giving it to private schools, parochial schools, for-profit schools. First of all, for-profit schools are going to take their profit margin off the top, and then the rest of it's for the students. Right. Parochial schools can discriminate against LGBT kids. They don't have to let them in, but they're going to take, I still don't understand how they distinguish the LGBT tax dollar from the straight tax dollar when they taking their public tax dollars.
Right.
How they do that, girl?
Right.
How they do, I need some accounting gurus out there to explain to me how these parochial schools who want to say no, we don't have gay people in our school, how you distinguish the gay money from the straight money. But anyway, so what it started out being and what it turned into is something different. Yes, and they were talking about competition, and I'm like, why, if I'm a parent of a 6-year-old, am I trying to find the best school and trying to compete? Every school I look at should be able to offer my 6-year-old the quality education that I need. I shouldn't need to spend hours upon hours trying to find a school that's competitive.
And a school that may be quite a distance
away
from you, and so again, then you're balancing the transportation issue.
Yes,
and you have to work, and then you got to figure out how to get your child to that school. Every parent wants the best for their children.
My God,
Every parent wants their child to excel in education. I don't know that any parent would not want that.
They want their child to have more. Every parent who is a good parent, because I done met some parents that were just, reproducers. they were like, remember the invasion of the body snatchers when they was really just pods. They should have never been pods. There are just some people out there like that. But good parents, care about their kids and want them to succeed.
And they do. And so there's something that can be done for those people as well.
Okay.
So
tell me, give me one more thing. We got about 10 minutes. Give me one more thing that will make people say, I'm going to go vote for her because she shares my values.
Well, I think another issue that is, it's a hot one right now, and that's gun reform.
Okay.
I hear a lot of it on both sides. I hear those that are, pro-gun and those that are pro-gun. And I think we're all pro-gun.
We're all pro-Second Amendment.
Right.
Yes, we are.
So we are. So let's all let's get some common ground here. We're all right with the Second Amendment.
Right. We're good with that.
You can have one. You can, we don't tell you how many you can have, but we have people saying that we want to have some common sense gun reform. And it doesn't, we're not talking about a laundry list of things to change, but we are talking about, and what I'm hearing from constituents is that they do want us to move toward having some universal background checks. That they really don't see any need in a civilized society for, weapons that not even our police are.
Oh, baby.
Are armed.
Well, they trying to get them. That's another story. That's another story.
And of course, Ohio just said that they wanted to ban bump stocks, and so there are some things that we can do, and I think rational minds are now saying that they're open to it, and so I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do that, and that we don't keep pushing state level laws, because we're a mobile society. You go from Kentucky, Indiana to Kentucky to Ohio,
right?
And you should be able to
the same
navigate with that throughout the United States, and not
Okay.
not say, well, I got to know what the law is over here in Ohio or Chicago. Or I'm gonna leave Chicago and go to Indiana because Indiana's a little more lenient. We need to have a national.
Okay, I'm with that.
Yeah.
Because your states' rights folks will be like, I want to control it, but you're right. I mean, if I travel a lot,
Yes.
as a woman who travels, and if I don't own guns because I'm.
Well, there you go. When you cross the state line, and maybe you were pushing the speed a little bit,
just a little bit,
and there you are.
I'm stuck. But I'm a woman alone. Why wouldn't I want to? You tell me to have a gun,
right? My Second Amendment rights says I can have one.
And lawmakers, especially in Indiana, are always talking about women who have been abused. They need to go have a gun.
Oh wow.
You know how they are. I mean, this but background checks and more.
Yeah, just okay. We're just some basic kind of things. I think there's so many things that we could do, and some people will say, hey, we have enough laws on the books. Mm-hmm. We have enough gun laws. We don't need any more. Well, clearly we don't have enough.
We don't have the right ones.
Yeah, and so let's to your point, let's get the right ones, and let's get it nationally. And let's move forward. Now, the other thing I get emails and calls about is cannabis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do. I hear it a lot, and so I support medical marijuana.
Okay.
I think that's a first step.
Okay.
And we know that it's 29 states already have it, and so to me it just makes sense that we come out with a really a national plan.
Absolutely.
Again, it's just like with the guns. Let's nationalize it. Let's not have it that I gotta go to Colorado or I gotta go here
California,
to get what I need. Medically. But it does require additional education.
Absolutely.
Because people think, people are going to get addicted to this and that. We legalize alcohol,
and there is probably nothing. Excuse me. There's probably nothing more harmful to the body.
That's right. We legalize smoking,
right?
And we have rules around it. We have age limits, and so we're not saying, hey, it's a free fall and everybody should just start doing it.
Right.
But we're saying this is just like all of the others.
Right.
There is a time and a place, and there is a responsible way.
You can't go to work drunk.
Recreational.
Right.
Yes,
you can't go to work drunk. You can't go. You can't smoke inside the building.
Right.
There's rules in place, and I'm one that is for total legal marijuana, even for recreationals. I went out to California and I see how the dispensaries work, and it's like, oh man, it just decriminal. I mean, you have good people who, for whatever reason, enjoy getting high. Right. They just like it. They ain't hurting nobody. All they doing is eating up a bunch of Cheetos. They not really hurting nobody. Let them just smoke their weed and be done. So listen,
I do like the idea to we've got people who have been incarcerated because so we have to make sure that those records are wiped clean,
right?
Because it's hard to get back into society.
Absolutely.
And start to work and start your life.
I think in Colorado what they did though is that they actually, if you have been convicted of marijuana charges, you can't go into the business legally. So that's kind of icky because it's like, really, when because you already know it's mostly African Americans that were locked up for the same weed that white folk had. But now white folks can sell it on Wall Street, on the Dow Index, NASDAQ, and make crazy money, not on just the weed, as they call it in California, the flower, but also all of the paraphernalia that goes with it. So now you got companies that are making crazy money, but black folks are still, whole communities have been decimated. But this, I can go all day on that one. Okay, so we got 3 minutes left. So tell us about where people can find you, because I want them to, volunteer for your campaign. And we need them to donate to you. We
do. So you can find us at D Thornton for Congress, and that's FOR. And it's DEE, and it's FOR because people put the number in FOR. Okay. So D Thornton for Congress, and I invite you to go there and learn more about me. I detail some issues that are important and that I have heard to be important for the constituents of the 5th District. Right. It's also, you can just click on donate. We've got to raise some money. You can also click on being a volunteer. We need lots of volunteers as we move into. If one thing I learned during the primary was that we got to put together a real strong field plan for November, and we will. We will.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, you blew me away the first time I met you. I had a chance to meet you and Don, and I was like, oh, you're Dee. And I loved your and please, you're not my mother, and I get that you're not even close to being old enough to be, but you remind me of my mother in the way she carries herself. She carried herself, and so that was one of the reasons why I connected with you, because now Mama was 5'3" and carried a big stick. You know what I'm saying? So she was a tiny little thing, but her presence, her ladylike presence, she didn't have to be loud. I'm loud, you know. I'm just in your face. But you had the same type of demeanor that raised me. So it was really nice to see, my sister out there just doing her thing.
Thank you.
Not just, you wasn't faking the funk on who you were.
Thank you. This is it.
This is what you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get.
And I appreciate you stepping up, because I couldn't do it. I mean, you were doing. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Well,
but you were doing it, and I'm so proud of you. And, we got a whole family of people that are going to help you out and try to help get all these ladies elected to Congress.
We got to do it.
All these women. All these women. Hey, listen, Indiana's own Dana Black, we are wrapping up Turn Left. This was my guest, Dee Thornton. She is running in the 5th District, my district, 5th District for the U.S. Congress. Listen, let's send her to help out Andre Carson. Because, see, here's the deal. If we can just flip one of the chambers, things in D.C. can change. Right now, they got control of both chambers. We need to flip one of those chambers. So if we can flip, we got 9 seats. 2 of them we own already. There's 7 more out there. If we can it'd be nice to get all 7.
Well, we're going for it.
We're going for all 7.
For all 7.
So everybody get involved. It's going to be a great summer of activism and community engagement. Indiana's Own. We will be back next week. Turn Left. Shout out to all the people that volunteered on Election Day. Your hard work is truly, truly appreciated. Your civic duty is appreciated. And we will see y'all next week. Indiana's Own, baby. I'm out. All right. Okay, now I gotta turn these people off because they're gonna be like, y'all still talking. Y'all still talking.